Welcome back with a smiley face. A link is provided in the video description for previous episodes. Giving up on the alpha. Episode 3. Chapter 21. Lyanna POV. It has been 6 days since I heard from Axel, and with each passing day, I feel more miserable than the day before. My message to him is still undelivered. My phone is glued to my side, and I eagerly look at it every time a notification comes through. But it is never Axel. Dad has been discharged and is recovering at home. I miss seeing him every day. Visiting him was the highlight of my day. Nina is practically seeing Wilson every night, and I am happy about it. As much as I want to visit her, it is better that I do not see her. She is in love and on cloud 9, and I will only drag her down with my sour mood. Lyanna, table 6, the manager, Brad, says as he passes me where I am stacking dirty dishes at the wash bay. On it, I reply and clean my hands before I walk to the table. I do not think I ever was this relieved for a Sunday night. The restaurant was crazy busy during the weekend, and I worked double shifts. At least the weekend was profitable, and I will be able to send money home. Not much, but it is something. Honestly, if it were not for my dad, I would not have sent money at all. But I cannot let him suffer. Especially now while he is recovering. I smile friendly at the customers and do my best until the last customer has left. The rest of the servers joke around as they clean their stations, but I do not participate. I am too tired and frankly, in too much of a bad mood. One by one Brad calls the servers into his office to pay them, and soon it is just me and him. Lyanna, your turn, Brad shouts, and I sigh as I walk to his office. I do not like Brad. He is only the manager but parades around as if he is king. I swear, if he could, he would have ordered us to call him Your Highness. At the end of each shift, he calls us in individually and makes a huge fuss as he pays us. And we have no choice but to play along. Because Brad will find an excuse to deduct from our tips if we do not seem grateful enough for the privilege to work under him. Close the door, Brad orders as I walk inside, and I roll my eyes. He says that every time I come in. One should think by now I will know to do it. I take a seat and wait for the ritual to begin. He will ramble some nonsense about my work performance, and then he will hand over my money after I praise him for doing such an excellent job as manager. You did well tonight, Brad says as he looks at me from across his desk. Thank you, I smile. You're too kind. Lie. I know you've been only working here for a week, but I think you deserve a raise, he smiles as he stands up and walks around his desk. Really? I ask, surprised. Thank you. You're the best. Another lie. I was thinking we should make this interesting. He smiles slyly as he rests his butt on his desk right in front of me. We can determine your rise by your ability to follow orders by playing Simon Says. I master all my energy not to roll my eyes at him. How childish can one be? Stand up, he says and laughs heartedly when I do not move. Very good. Now, Simon Says, clap your hands. I grind my teeth as I clap my hands. Wonderful. He cheers and places a $50 bill on the desk. I feel like a monkey in the circus. This is so demeaning. Brad, this is not, just one more, he cuts me off and holds up another 50. One more, I agree reluctantly. As this is, it is $100, and it is not like I am selling my soul here. I am nearly entertaining the jerk. Simon Says, sit on your hands. His eyes sparkle as I obey. Brad smiles satisfied as he stands up and places the bill down. He turns to face me, and before I can comprehend what is happening, his hands are on my breasts. What are you doing? I shout indignantly as I free my hands and shove him hard against his chest. I use so much force that he stammers backwards and my chair tips over. The back of my head connects hard with the floor, but I get up and run for the door. Brad grabs me by my ponytail and jerks me back. Let me go. I scream as his arms go around me like clamps. Scream, little girl, scream, he hisses in my ear and repulse shivers through me as he licks my neck. This room is not only bulletproof but also soundproof. Forcefully he shoves me forward and my nose instantly starts bleeding when I hit the wall. I am dizzy and disoriented when he gets hold of my hair again and throws me on the floor. I try to get up, but he straddles me. I kick and squirm for all that I am worth, but he is too heavy, and I cannot free myself. He lifts his hand and I scream at the top of my lungs as I watch his hand transforms into a brown paw. He slices across my chest, ripping my shirt and underwear to shreds. I am numb with fear as he bends over and painfully starts fondling my breasts. Desperately I wiggle my body to break free, but he tightens his grip on my breasts and I scream out in pain. Tears of fear and humiliation run over my cheeks as his mouth covers my breast. His mouth is merciless and hungry on my chest, and I can do nothing more but weep. Fresh pain radiates through me as he bites my breast and I cry out. I am not going to survive this, the thought is so devastating that I stop resisting him. No, Lyanna, no. I reprimand myself. You must fight this. Brad is still feasting on my breasts when I use my thumbs and press them against his eyes with all the strength I can master. This time it is his turn to scream in agony as I apply more pressure. One of his eyeballs pops underneath my thumb and I yell in disgust as warm blood covers my hand. But it is enough for Brad to roll off me and I jump up. My hands are trembling and dumb and I cannot get the door open fast enough. You'll pay for this, bitch, Brad yells as he grabs me from behind and throws me back onto the floor. His chest is heaving as he walks to me, and I wait. When he is within reach, I kick him with everything I got right in his balls. He doubles over and falls to the floor on his knees. Without wasting a second, I get up and dart to the door. Brad growls loudly behind me and I start screaming uncontrollably. That growl can only mean one thing: he is going to shift. Fresh tears stream down my face when I finally manage to open the door and I run as fast as I can. I can hear Brad's wolf behind me, but I do not look back. My eyes are fixated on the front door, which symbolizes freedom to me. I run, but something hard and heavy lands on my back and I fall forward and land on my bare chest. I want to get up, but the weight on my back does not give away. 5 sharp things are pressing into my back, and I realize it is Brad's paw. This is it, panic rises in me. This is how I am going to die. Brad, back off. I look up and see Missy, one of the senior waitresses. She is glaring at Brad and behind her are 3 more waitresses. Where do they come from? They all left for the night. I said, Missy growls angrily. Back off. Brad's only response is to growl low and increase pressure on my back and I start screaming again. My screams of agony get interrupted with the sound of clothes tearing and I watch in horror as Missy and 2 of her friends shift. They attack Brad simultaneously and I take deep breaths of air when the pressure releases on my back. Come on, I recognize Chloe as she helps me up and drags me away from the fight. Let's get you to safety. A pain-filled howl pierces my ears and I turn around in time to see how Brad bites into one of the girls' legs. No, I look at Chloe. I will not be able to live with myself if one of them gets hurt because of me. They need help. They're fine, Chloe says urgently. Look. I turn to them and sigh relieved. Missy has pinned Brad down and is towering over him with baring teeth. Her 2 friends standing next to her, growling at Brad. Thank you, tears of relief rush down my face and I hug her tightly. You're shivering, Chloe holds me tighter. We need to get you to the hospital. You're covered in blood. No, not my BL, blood, I sob and cling tighter to her. I do not care about my bleeding nose or chest. I cannot bring myself to let go of her. I am afraid I will lose my mind if I do. Plus, I do not have money to pay for medical care and the very last thing I want now, is more strangers touching me. Is there somebody I can call? Chloe asks gently. My first instinct is to say, Axel. But after a week of silence, I know I am the last person he wants to talk to. And I vividly remember his last words to me. When he hears about this, there will be pay. Carol, I sniff after a moment. She is the only one I can think of now. As much as I adore Drew, he is a man and I do not want him to see me in this state. And Nina is human, she is as much at the wolf's mercy as I am. "Bea," Chloe shouts. "A little help here." "What's up?" Bea asks behind me where I still cling to Chloe for dear life. Holding on to her is the only thing standing between my sanity and screaming uncontrollably. "She's in shock," Chloe explains. "Find her phone and call Carol. Once she's safe, we can contact Alpha Grant." Carol POV. I moan softly when my phone's ringing wakes me up. Who on earth would call on a Sunday night at 11? Lyanna. I quickly sit up and wipe over my eyes. Lyanna will not call at this hour if it was not urgent. "What's wrong?" "Hi, I'm Bea," an unknown voice replies. "I work with Lyanna. Can you come to pick her up at the restaurant, please?" "Sure," I jump out of bed. "Is she all right? Did she get sick or something?" "Or something," Bea sighs. "There was an attack. I can't be sure, but she seems fine. Just traumatized." "I'll be there in 10 minutes, I disconnect the call. I do not waste time getting dressed. I only put on sneakers and pull a shirt over my pajamas. I grab a jacket, my handbag, and keys and run to the car. The second my phone connects with the car's speaker, I phone Drew. "You're up late," Drew answers with a smile in his voice. "Where are you?" I ask calmly. I do not know if I am on speakerphone, and I do not want to alarm the world when I do not have the facts. "I just picked up Axel from the airport," he replies. "We should be home in 15 minutes. I'm on my way to the restaurant," I explain as I speed down the road. "There was an attack at Lyanna's restaurant." "We're on our way," he grunts. "Drew, no." I stop him. "I don't know what happened and there's a reason why she called me and not anybody else." "I'm still coming," he insists. Fine, I give in. For Drew, Lyanna is the daughter we never had, and I know I cannot keep him away. But stay in the background until I say so, okay? I disconnect the call just as I stop in front of the restaurant. My eyes nearly bulge out of my sockets when I witness the scene. 2 she-wolves are pinning down a wolf while 2 other girls comfort Lyanna. The place is in absolute chaos. They were definitely fighting indoors. "Lyanna, honey," I touch her arm and instantly she lets go of the girl and throws herself in my arms. I must fight to keep my composure when I see the state she is in. Her chest, face, and hand are covered in blood. "Where are you bleeding?" I force my voice to remain steady. "It's not her blood," one of the girls responds. "It's his," another point to the wolf that is pinned down. "Let's get you into my car," I say as I lead her outside. Once she is safely in the back seat, I take off my jacket and cover her with it. "You're going to be all right," I smile as I close the door and walk back inside. "What happened here?" I ask. "Missy forgot her jacket," she points to the she-wolf that is pinning the wolf down. "And when we walked in, Lyanna was running for the door, with Brad on her heels. He pinned her down and then we stepped in." "Have you informed Alpha Grant?" I ask. "Not yet," one replies. "We thought it's better to get Lyanna out of here first." "Good thinking," I smile. "Just stay here, Axel is on his way." They nod in unison, and I look at the wolves. "Will you be able to handle him until they get here?" I frown. "Please," the one snorts. "Piece of cake. He's not going anywhere." "Good," I smile proudly at them. "And thank you for everything you did for Lyanna." "Oh, it's our pleasure," one grins. "We've all been dying to kick his ass." I wave them goodbye before I run back to the car and take Lyanna home. Axel POV. Everything okay at home? I ask absent-mindedly as I rest my head on the seat. It has been one hell of a busy week and all I want is to go home and hold Lyanna. Nothing new to report, sir, Drew replies just as his phone rings. I close my eyes and relax as Drew answers his phone, but when his tone of voice changes, I am on full alert. Change of plans, sir. Drew's voice is strained, and he accelerates to an alarming speed as he tells me what happened. How long before we're within our borders? I ask brusquely. 5 minutes, Drew replies, and I shift uncomfortably in my seat. I cannot mind link until we are within the borders. Do you have the number of the restaurant's owner? I ask irritated. Already dialing, sir, Drew says as he hands me his phone. I cling to the phone and listen to the dialing tone until it goes to voicemail. For sake, I grunt. What's the use of having a phone when you don't answer it? Drew's phone starts ringing in my hand and eagerly I pick up when I read Carol's name. She's safe and with me, Carol says after I greeted her. I listen intently as she tells me what happened. But you're needed at the restaurant. It's a mess. Thanks, Carol. I disconnect the call and mind link Nick to meet me with warriors at the restaurant. I do not say a word as we speed towards the restaurant. I am going to rip that son of a bitch apart, I swear. I know I should be calm and collected, but I am livid. I am out of the car even before Drew has fully stopped and I march into the restaurant. I ignore the she-wolves staring at me and walk straight to the bastard that is pinned to the floor. Shift. I command and he complies. Name. I bark. Brad, he avoids eye contact. I'm the manager. What happened to your eye? I ask in repulse when he looks up at me. I was attacked, he says nervously. It was self-defense. One of the she-wolves snorts and rolls her eyes. Who attacked you? I cross my arms in front of my chest. I know he is a lying piece of shit, but as alpha, I must be diligent and fair. An employee, he replies. She wanted more money and when I didn't want to give it to her, she did this. Was it one of you? I play dumb and turn to the girls. It was Lyanna, one replies. A human. Thank you, I wink at her, and she blushes slightly. So, I turn to the culprit. You're telling me a human girl did this? Yes, he lifts his chin. And I want to lay charges against her and these 4. You're all fired, he shouts at them angrily. Let's talk, I smile as I place my hand behind his neck and lead him to his office. As furious as I am impressed with Lyanna. Taking out a wolf's eye is no easy task. I close the door behind us and use a moment to take in the scene. Fury builds in me as I look at the overthrown chair and shreds of clothing. How dare you touch my mate? I bellow as I grab him by the neck and pin him to the wall. His eyes go wild and big as he grasps for air. I didn't, no, he stammers. I would never touch your mate, and that makes it all right. I grunt. Attacking an unmated wolf. The others liked it, he shrieks and claws against my hand as I tighten my grip. Others. I growl. How many? 5, he fights for air. Ask them, they enjoyed it. I nearly lose my mind when I hear his words. Unceremoniously, I drag him out of the office and toss him to the floor in front of the she-wolves. Nick and the warriors have also arrived and look questioningly at me. Are any of you his victims? I ask the she-wolves. No, one of them steps forward. We're all brunettes. He has a taste for blondes. They're lying. Brad panics. Silence. I bark and he instantly shuts up. Do you know the girls he attacked? I ask the she-wolves. I do, a girl nods. But they all moved away after Brad, you know. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on behalf of the accused? I look at everyone, but nobody steps forward. Very well, my voice is loud and clear for all to hear. I find you guilty of 5 counts of rape and 1 attempted rape. I hereby sentence you to death. Please, no, the man begs as I walk towards him. This is not a fair trial. Fair? I sneer. Were you fair when you chased down an employee when she tried to flee your claws? Were you fair when you fired these girls in front of me because they protected Lyanna? You're not fired, he looks at the she-wolves. In fact, I'm giving you all raises. The Simon says way. A girl snarls as she walks to Brad, and he turns white as a sheet. Yeah, Ashley told me about your little game. Alpha Axel, the girl turns to me. I'm Missy and have been working here since I was 16. Ashley confided in me. He would make the girls play a girl of Simon says before he rapes them. It's just a game, Brad defends himself. We had fun. Go ahead and ask them, they all enjoyed it. Not as much as I am enjoying this, I sneer as I rip his throat out. I step back and watch him gurgle for air before silence fills the room. Missy, I turn to her. Would you mind providing us with details about his victims? I would like to contact them and apologize for what they had to endure. Gladly, the girl smiles brightly. Danny, I call one of the warriors over. Get a cleanup crew ready and take care of this mess. And for sake, go wake the owner and tell him what's happening in his establishment. Nick, I turn to him. Please take these brave young ladies' names and statements. They will all be rewarded for their assistance tonight. And get them home safely. Yes, Alpha, he nods. And when you're done, get a team ready, I continue. You're leaving tonight to find his victims. Tell them the happy news that Brad is dead and get their statements so that they can be compensated. Thank you, Alpha, Missy says, and I do not miss the adoration in her eyes. I smile softly at her before I turn around and leave. There is only one thing I want now, and that is to get to Lyanna. Lyanna POV nothing registers as I lay in the back of Carol's car. I cannot close my eyes. Every time I do, I see Brad's face. My body is shivering so hard that my teeth are clattering. And my head is throbbing with the beat of 1,000 drums. Hold on, honey, Carol's voice is gentle and comforting as she parks the car. We're home, she says softly. Let's get you inside. I will my body to move but nothing happens. I cannot even bring myself to speak. I am trapped in a trembling body. Lyanna, Carol says urgently as she opens the back door and reaches for me. You need to work with me, please. You need to get inside. Can't move, I stutter through clattering teeth. Oh, dear goddess, Carol sighs and I listen to her making a call. I do not mean to be difficult or attention-seeking. I honestly cannot move. No matter how much I want to. Then leave him there, Carol says urgently. I cannot do this on my own. Drew, please, Carol sniffs. We need a doctor. She's not looking good. Okay, she sighs. Just hurry. Lyanna, Carol peeks into the car. Help is on the way, okay? I'm going to run inside and get you a blanket. I listen to her run off as I fight my body to obey. Why am I such a weakling? I take a deep breath, hold it, and release it. I repeat the process over and over until my teeth stop clattering. I try to lift my arm. It feels heavy and numb, but it is moving. Tediously slow, I manage to sit up. Oh, thank heavens, Carol sighs as she joins me again. You gave me the fright of my life. She throws the blanket over my shoulders, and it is with great difficulty that she helps me out of the car. My knees give in when I try to stand, and Carol catches me just in time. Together we sit on the ground as she holds tightly onto me. Oh, sweet child, what has he done to you? She starts crying as she cradles me against her chest. It's just shock, I mumble. It will wear off. Carol starts crying harder as she holds onto me. But before I can respond, a car's headlights blind me, and I close my eyes. Carol, I thought you said she's okay, Drew says worriedly as he rushes to our side. I am, I croak. But my body is being uncooperative. The doctor will be the judge of that, Drew grunts as he picks me up and carries me inside. Get her strong, sweet tea, Drew orders Carol as he lays me down on the couch. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Carol wraps a blanket tightly around me and I close my eyes. Brad's face pops up again and I pinch my eyes closer. Go away. Go away. I say to myself. Think happy thoughts. The first image to surface is Axel's smiling face and I relax a little. I concentrate on his face as if I would be drawing it and I drift off to sleep before Carol can bring the tea. Axel POV. I frown when I walk outside and do not see Drew. I was just about to mind link him when he stops in front of me with screeching tires. What, man? I ask as I yank open the door and get in. Emergency, Drew grunts as he speeds off. I had to help Carol get Lyanna into the house. You should brace yourself, Axel, she doesn't look good. Have you called the doctor? I ask as fear grips my heart. She's on her way, Drew replies. But I think we should get her to the hospital. She's not a wolf that can heal herself. Noted, I grunt as I clench my fists. I have an intense need to kill. Once was not enough. I should have kept Brad alive and tortured him until I felt better. Axel, Drew looks at me sympathetically. Lyanna is your mate, isn't she? Do I need to remind you of your place, Drew? I grunt. I know, Drew sighs. I'm an Omega and it's none of my business. But if someone did to Carol what that guy did to Lyanna, well, I will lose it. Are you implying that I cannot keep myself together? I ask furiously. Not at all, Drew shrugs. I'm very impressed with how composed you are considering the state your mate is in. Stop calling her my mate. I bellow and this time Drew stops talking. I take a deep breath to regain my composure. Drew might be an Omega and my driver, but he is also loyal and trustworthy. I should have known he would figure it out sooner or later. I'm sorry, I say after a moment. Just, keep it to yourself, okay? Not even Lyanna knows that she's my mate. Why don't you tell her? Drew frowns. Because she's human and still in love with Wyatt, I sigh heavily. She needs to get over him before I stand a chance. The secret will remain between you and me, Drew says as he parks in front of Lyanna's cottage. Carol is standing at the door waiting for us with a pale face. Take Carol home, I say brusquely as we walk to the door. I'll wait for the doctor. Yes, sir, Drew responds. She's sleeping, Carol says as we approach. Thanks for your help tonight, I smile at her. I'll take it from here. I nod at Drew before I enter the cottage and walk straight to the living room. The second I see her, my legs go weak, and I collapse to my knees next to her. My hand is slightly trembling as I reach out to her, but I am too afraid to touch her. From her nose down, she is covered in blood. Pain and anger grow inside me as I slowly pull the blanket away. I cannot control the sob that bursts over my lips as I stare in horror at the teeth mark on her breast and the 3 claw marks over her chest. I shamelessly cry as I pull back the blanket and pick up her bloody hand. Carefully, I inspect it, but I cannot see any cuts. I lean forward, kiss her on her forehead, and gently stroke her hair. She moans softly and stirs in her sleep. Abruptly I pull away and wipe my tears. Lyanna, my voice is soft and urgent, but she does not respond. Please wake up, I rest my forehead on hers. There is a soft knock on the door, and I quickly pull myself together. Nobody can know how much this affects me. With long strides, I walk to the door to answer it. Thanks for coming, I clear my throat as I open the door wider for the doctor, Michelle. Follow me. How long has she been sleeping? She asks as she picks up Lyanna's wrist to take her pulse. Not long, I reply. Maybe 15 minutes. Head injuries. She looks at me. How should I know? I snap, irritated. You're the doctor, examine her. Michelle raises her eyebrows at me but does not say a word. She would have told me to get out if I were not the future alpha. I can't examine her here, Michelle sighs. I need more space. Fine, I grunt and step forward. Gently I pick up Lyanna and carry her to the room. I lay her down softly and stand aside so that Michelle can do her job. Not another one, she sighs as she pulls down the blanket. What do you mean? I frown. The bite mark on her chest, she frowns. I've seen it before on another rape victim. Let me guess, I sneer. She was blonde. Yet, Michelle looks at me in surprise. Serial rapist, I grunt. But I took care of him. Was she? No, I cut her off brusquely before she could say that word. I never ever want the words rape and Lyanna in the same sentence. That's a relief, Michelle exhales as she continues her examination. I cross my arms in front of my chest and lift a fist to my mouth. I bite hard into my hand to keep my composure when Michelle cleans the wounds. It takes everything I have not to break down. It feels like an eternity until Michelle is done with the examination. There's a bump on her head and her nose is broken, but that's minor in comparison with the other injuries, she says as she takes out a syringe. I'll have to give her a tetanus shot for the puncture marks on her back and lacerations on her chest. As well as the bite mark. Will she be scarred? I ask nervously. Not that I give a shit, but she will. She will be reminded of this ordeal every time she sees the marks. It shouldn't, Michelle replies as she injects the needle into Lyanna's arm, and I look away. But apply tissue oil as a precaution. The wounds on her back are the deepest. It needs to be cleaned regularly and keep an eye out for infection. If you want to lay charges, you need to bring her to the hospital so that we can photograph and document her injuries, Michelle continues and looks at me. Before she cleans up. That wouldn't be necessary, I grunt. He's dead. Good, Michelle smiles and takes out a bottle of pills. Pain medication, she places it on Lyanna's bedside table. Make sure she eats before she takes it. If she develops a fever or shows any signs of infection, get her to the hospital immediately. I also strongly advise that you both receive trauma therapy. Why me? I look at her as if she lost her mind. I wasn't attacked. I advise it to all couples, we're not a couple, I grunt frustrated. Mother, sister, friend, it doesn't matter, Michelle sighs. Whether you like it or not, when a man has a relationship with a woman in any capacity, an incident like this affects him. Anger, blame, guilt, hopelessness. Get the therapy. Be patient and supportive. Physical recovery is nothing in comparison with emotional recovery. Thank you, I nod. I appreciate your help. Don't mention it, she gathers her things. I'm just grateful you got the guy. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 to check up on her. I see Michelle out and lock the door behind her. Like a zombie, I walk to the living room and sit down. I take deep breaths and knead my fist in my palm as I rock back and forth. But it does not help. The wall inside me crumbles and I break down crying. I cry because I could not keep her safe. I cry because I was not there in time. But mostly I cry because I cannot carry this burden for her. When I cried myself empty, I go to the bathroom and wash my face. I take off my shoes and softly lay down next to Lyanna. As gently as I can, I pull her close to my chest and close my eyes. Lyanna POV. It is pitch dark when I wake up. My upper body is on fire and my head is throbbing, but strangely enough, I am calm. I groan as pain radiates through me as I sit up. Something heavy is on my waist and I scream as I touch the arm that is draped over me. Lyanna. Axel says urgently. It's me. Axel. Surprised, I turn on the bedside lamp and immediately regret it as the light intensifies my headache. How are you feeling? His voice is thick with sleep as he sits up. Like shit, I mumble as I close my eyes. Are you in pain? He asks concerned. A lot, I whimper, pressing my fingers against my temples. I'll take care of it. He stands up and walks out of the room. Involuntarily, I replay the previous night's events, but I cannot remember when Axel got into the picture. I should be mad at him for ignoring me for a week and then curling up to me during the night as if nothing has happened. But I am not. I am too grateful not to be alone right now. Does he know what happened? The thought shoots panic through me. He is going to be so mad at me. He warned me to stay from other men and then Brad. A sob bursts over my lips as the realization hits me. Of course, he knows. He asked me if I am in pain. My heart is heavy with anxiety as I get out of bed and walk to the bathroom. I do not want to cry in front of him about this, and maybe I can buy some time and delay the fight that is sure to come. I turn on the bathroom light, but when I see my reflection in the mirror, I start screaming. Lyanna. Axel sounds unnerved, but I cannot answer him. I cannot stop staring at my hideous face. I look down at my hand that pierced Brad's eye and I start trembling. Lyanna, Axel is next to me and tries to pull me close, but I resist. Blood, I cry as I lift my hand. His blood. It's okay, he says patiently as he takes my hands into his. We can fix that. It's so gross, I cry, and I cannot take my eyes off my hand. His eye, it just popped and, Lyanna, Axel says urgently, and I look at him. Let's wash your hand and eat something so that I can give you pain medication. No, I shake my head. I need to shower. I need, shower it is, he says patiently as he turns open the taps. What are you doing? I ask as he takes off his shirt and pants. We're going to shower, he smiles as he walks to me and unbutton my pants. But I don't want to. I mean, I should, just relax, he pulls my pants and underwear off. I'm only going to help you, okay? No funny business. I'm sorry, I whimper. He has needs and I am contractually bound to fulfill those needs. Now I am a bloody and crying mess. You shouldn't be, he looks at me with so much compassion that my heart aches. You did nothing wrong. But, are you ready for this? He cuts me off as he tests the water's temperature. It's going to hurt. Yes, I nod adamantly. I would endure this pain twice over if I can only get clean. Axel smiles at me as he takes my hand and steps into the shower first. He goes to stand under the stream of water so that it does not spray directly onto me. You're going to drown, I joke, but it is too painful to smile. It's okay, I can swim, he laughs. I take the face wash and grind my teeth as I wash my face. I bite back the tears, but I cannot keep my moans of pain to myself. Did I get everything? I turn to Axel. Everything, he grins. You even washed off your freckles. I do not have freckles, I protest, and he laughs softly. I know, he chuckles as he takes the body wash and loofah. I close my eyes as he spreads my legs to wash between my legs and inner thighs. In other circumstances, this could have been romantic. Now, it is just embarrassing. Lift your leg, he kneels in front of me. And support yourself on my shoulders. Why? I ask suspiciously but obey. The last thing I need is more injuries. So I can wash your feet and legs, he makes his eyes big at me. This part's going to hurt, I sigh and brace myself for what is to come when Axel rinses the loofah. I'm not going near your upper body with soap, he closes the tap. It can irritate your wounds. But the blood is all gone, he cuts me off and helps me out of the shower. I'll clean the wounds with sterile wipes if you want. I don't have sterile wipes, I argue stubbornly. I want the blood gone. Every speck of it. There is in the first aid kit, he gently wraps a towel around my waist, leaving my chest bare. And before you ask. Yes, you do have a first aid kit in your kitchen. This is wolf territory. We fight and bite for fun. Every house is equipped with one. Images of Brad attacking me when he uses the phrase fight and bite bombard my mind and a shiver runs through me. Are you cold? Axel asks concerned as he wraps a towel around himself. Unpleasant memories, I mumble and turn to the basin to pick up my hairbrush, but my eye catches the wounds on my chest. I was so appalled by my face, I never bothered to look down. I trace the long, red line across my chest where Brad clawed me. What? I murmur and frown as I look at the mark on my breast. What is this? I go stand in front of the mirror to get a better look. Oh, dear goddess, I gulp as I stare at the teeth marks on my chest. Vigorously I rub it, but it does not want to come off. Lyanna, don't. Axel's voice is soft as he grabs my wrists from behind and pulls my back to his chest. It's okay, it will go away. It's not okay. I snap and shout furiously as I jerk free from his hold. This is too much. How can you stand there all serene and calm? Why aren't you mad? Look at me. Look at what he's done. I am. Axel bellows with eyes blazing. I'm enraged, Lyanna, but how is that going to help either of us? But if that's what you need, I'll be angry. If you want me to be happy and cheerful, I'll be happy and cheerful. Whatever you need, that's what I'll be. I don't know what I need, I shout as start rubbing the mark again. I want this off, I cry hopelessly as Brad's sadistic face pops up in my head. I want this gone. It will go away, he says desperately as he grabs my wrists. It's not permanent. It will go away. Axel, my voice is hoarse as warm tears stream down my cheeks. How can you look at me when I cannot stand the sight of myself? You survived, he whispers as he presses his lips against my knuckles. You're more than your looks, Lyanna. You're an astonishing woman. How can I not look at you and see that? I hate what he did to me, I say urgently. I never wanted him to touch me, you must believe me. I never doubted that, he says seriously. In fact, that thought hasn't even crossed my mind. I nod and bow my head as fresh tears well in my eyes. I am so incredibly confused and overwhelmed with emotions. Looking at my wounds makes me anxious and brings back memories of those horrible moments in Brad's office that felt like an eternity. I feel so unbelievably guilty. If I did not agree to play that stupid game, Brad would not have the chance to attack me. If I only sucked up to him as the other did, he would have paid me, and I would go home untouched. But mostly, I am angry. I am angry at Brad for doing this to me. I am angry because it is not fair and stuff like this should not happen. And I am furious at myself for playing the game and taking it out on Axel. I hate that I am taking it out on him. He did not do anything wrong. On the contrary, he has been nothing but patient and supportive. He definitely deserves someone that will treat him with the same amount of respect and compassion. And that someone is not me. I am not worthy of him. Damn it, I break down crying as my last thought strikes me in my heart. I am not worthy. If I am not good enough for Wyatt, why would I be good enough for Axel? He is 10 times the man Wyatt can ever hope to be. I'm so sorry, I cry as I look at Axel. You deserve better. Hey, Axel cuts me off gently as he lays his palm against my cheek. Give yourself time and space to recover. What you are experiencing are normal responses to an awful thing. I'm so sorry, I keep on crying even as he picks me up and places me down on the bed. I curl into a ball as the tears keep on flooding. I am in so much pain physically and emotionally and I cannot control it. After a while, Axel pulls me onto his lap, and I cling to him for all that I am worth. Take a deep breath, his voice is firm, and I obey. I continue to inhale deeply until I have control over myself. I'm sorry, please don't say you're sorry again, Axel interrupts me with a voice filled with anguish. You'll dehydrate before the doctor arrives. Fine, I sniff. Then I'm apologetic. "Yet, you're feeling better if you can talk back," he snorts as he picks me off his lap. "I made you a sandwich earlier," he says as he stands up and gets the plate that was standing on my dresser. "Thanks," I croak as I accept it and take a bite. I am not even remotely hungry, but I will not tell him that. This man is a god and has most likely never even made himself a sandwich, let alone for someone else. "Once you're done, you can have these," he hands me 2 capsules. "It will help for the pain." "You're a god," I sigh gratefully. "I know, right?" He gives me a wicked grin as he climbs butt naked into bed. I finish the sandwich and swallow the pills before I stand up. "Where are you going?" He frowns. "Getting pajamas," I reply as I place the plate down. "No, you're not," he grunts and pulls away the covers. "Get in." "But, no buts," he glares at me, and I roll my eyes theatrically at him before I climb into bed. "That's better," he sighs. I lay down in his arms. "Now close your eyes and go to sleep." "I'm tired." "Yes, Alpha," I laugh. "I like that." He kisses me on my neck and for the first time in a week, I go to sleep at ease. Lyanna POV. I wake up to the sound of muffled voices. Slowly, I open my eyes and look at an unfamiliar woman and Carol standing next to my bed. "Good morning, honey," Carol smiles sweetly at me as she hands me my robe. "This is Dr. Michelle. She's here to check up on you. How are you feeling?" Michelle asks. "Fine, I guess," I mumble as I avoid eye contact. I am naked and this entire situation is uncomfortable and awkward. I am unprepared and honestly, still half asleep. "I'm going to prepare you something to eat," Carol smiles and walks out of the door. "Would it be okay if I look at your wounds?" Michelle asks as she puts on gloves. "Sure," I clear my throat. As if I have a choice. I look at the wall, the floor, the ceiling. Everywhere but Michelle. "All done," she smiles and I tighten my robe as she explains wound care and precautions to me. "Have you considered talking to someone?" She looks at me with kind eyes. "There's no need," I reply. "I'll be fine." "Lyanna," she rests her hand on my shoulder. "None of this is fine. If you don't want to talk to someone, find an outlet to process what happened to you. Self-care is important." "Okay," I nod and avoid eye contact. "Here's my card," she sighs heavily. "Don't hesitate to contact me." "Thanks," I take the card and look at it for a while. "Doctor," I call her just as she is about to leave the room and she turns around. "I'm not ungrateful. I'm just, I know," she smiles sympathetically before she closes the door behind her. I am about to go to the bathroom when Carol walks in with a tray of food. "You must eat before you can have your medicine," she places the tray on my lap and sits next to me on the bed. "You don't have to fuss over me," I smile as pick up the fork and take a bite of scrambled eggs. "Geez, these are good." "It's because you're hungry," she chuckles. "And the secret's in the whisking." "This was awesome, thank you," I pick up the glass of orange juice and the pills. "Any requests for dinner?" she asks cheerfully as she picks up the tray. "Seriously, Carol, you don't have to," I smile at her. "I can take care of myself. My wounds aren't that deep. Even the doctor said so." "Look," she sighs heavily as she places the tray down on the dresser and comes to sit next to me again. "I know you're strong and independent and don't need my help. And I know you want solitude and space. I'll give you plenty of that, but I'm going to be here and feed you because I care. So, you might as well take advantage of it and tell me what you like. Besides," she continues as she stands up, "Drew and Axel will kill me equally if I don't take care of you." "Fine," I give up, I roll my eyes. "How's your meatloaf?" "Always perfect," she smiles proudly. "Oh, and before I forget. I took the liberty of ordering you a couple of oversized t-shirts to wear until your wounds are healthier. It should be here in an hour or so." Great, thanks, I climb out of bed. I'll be in the kitchen if you need me, Carol shouts as she leaves. I throw a towel over the mirror before I do my business and brush my teeth and hair. I put on clean underwear and tights before I put on the robe again. I will have to parade around like this until the t-shirts arrive. I take out my sketchpad and pencils and go sit on my bed. I do not even have to think about it, my hand immediately starts flowing over the paper. Come in, I say absent-mindedly as I flip over the page and start a new drawing. The t-shirts arrived, Carol announces as she comes in and places a parcel on my bed. What are you doing? Therapy, I mumble without looking up. May I look? Carol asks curiously and stands closer to take a peek. Nope, I look up and smile. I'm sorry, I'm not being a bitch. It's private. Other people use words and talk things to death. I draw. Any other answer and I would have been offended, Carol nods. Thanks for understanding, I put the sketchpad down and reach for the parcel. And for this, I take out a shirt. My pleasure, she smiles. Dinner will be ready at 7. Axel POV. The closer I get to the cottage, the lighter my heart feels. Lyanna was on my mind the entire day. There is no way I was going to leave her home alone today, and when Carol volunteered to stay, I reluctantly agreed. I did not want to go to work, but I had to deal with the mess at the restaurant. I also figured Lyanna might need some space. Plenty was said last night, but she endured a lot and I do not want to smother her. My stomach growls happily as I walk up to the cottage and the aroma of food hits me. I never ate today and now I am starving. I am surprised to hear Lyanna laughing carefree when I walk inside. I thought the atmosphere would be stiff and gloomy. As quietly as I can, I walk to the kitchen. Lyanna, Drew and Carol are sitting at the table playing cards. You're cheating, Carol accuses Drew. You always cheat. I'm not, Drew huffs. You're just losing. What's this then? Lyanna chuckles as she picks up a card underneath Drew's chair. Instantly, Drew and Carol start arguing with Lyanna offering her 2 cents. Drew, you're busted, I say as I walk in, and stop myself just in time before I give away my secret and kiss Lyanna. Finally, Drew huffs. Now we can eat. Please, Carol rolls her eyes. You're just happy the game is over. You look better, I smile at Lyanna as I take a seat next to her. Much better, her smile is so pure and genuine that I forget to breathe for a second. How was your day? Chaotic, I wipe my thumb and index finger over my eyes. Nothing new. Axel, Drew reaches into his pocket. I found your phone. It slipped in between the seats. I took the liberty of charging it for you. Thanks, I take the phone from him. I was going to replace it today but never got around to it. The second I turn it on, it starts chiming. How long have you been without a phone? Lyanna looks at it in surprise. There's so many notifications, it sounds like you're playing a game. A week, I sigh as I look at the messages in consternation. It is going to take me an eternity to work through all of this. Hey, you send me a message. Time to eat, Lyanna announces and looks at me. You can read those later. You heard Drew, he's hungry. He's not the only one, I put the phone away, but I am dying to read her message. I'll help you set the table. Within minutes, the 4 of us have set the table and we are enjoying Carol's delicious meatloaf. We were halfway through when my phone starts ringing. Sorry, I mumble as I reach for it. I'll silence it and call back later. I silence my phone and take the opportunity to quickly read Lyanna's message. I grind my teeth as I put it away. Her message does not sit well with me. Why does she not want to study anymore? That was her ultimatum. What happened that she changed her mind? This was fantastic, Carol, thank you, Lyanna sighs contently as she puts her cutlery down. As always, wife, well done, Drew looks at her lovingly. Thank you, Carol thrives under the compliments. Drew, Axel, you guys don't mind doing the dishes, do you? I stop chewing and look at her in awe. Has she lost her mind? Asking the future alpha to do the dishes is unheard of. I'll do it, Lyanna volunteers. No, honey, Carol smiles mischievously. You're going to shower and I'll assist you while they do the dishes. Yes, dear, Drew says somberly as he stands up and starts gathering dishes. See? Carol says with satisfaction. Everything sorted. If you say so, Lyanna gives me a wicked grin as she stands up. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll get you for this, I mind-link Carol but she only smiles at me. Get your things ready, Carol urges Lyanna. I'm just going to give them a quick tutorial on how to do dishes and then I'll be there. What are you up to? I grunt when Lyanna is out of earshot and Carol's face changes from carefree to serious. There's a sketchpad on her bed, Carol whispers urgently. Look at it when we're in the bathroom. I'm not going to invade her privacy, I say adamantly. She'll show me if she wants to. Just do it. I got a quick glimpse earlier, Carol hisses at me. You need to see it. I am still lost for words when Carol walks out of the kitchen. I take a moment to deliberate on the situation. I do not want to do it, but Carol would not insist if she did not think that is necessary. Excuse me, I mumble as I walk to the room. The bathroom door is closed and I can hear Lyanna and Carol talking. I pick up the pad and open it. Dear Goddess, I murmur as I page from one drawing to the next. It is like looking at real photographs. But it is the last pages that rip my guts to shreds. Images of an angry Brad, holding up his fist, ready to punch. Brad with crazy eyes and a paw for a hand. And lastly, a wolf with a missing eye. I swallow the bile that is rising in my throat as I put the sketchpad back and return to the kitchen. Without a word, I pick up a cloth and start drying the dishes. Now I am grateful Carol gave us this tedious task. I need something to do while I process what I have just seen. Those images of Brad were like looking into Lyanna's mind and seeing what she had to endure. None of those are doodles, as she calls it. It is memories. Vivid and real and brilliant. Even those monstrous drawings of Brad are flawless. Clearly, she has a talent and passion for it. Why would she give up on an opportunity to explore it? Lyanna POV Axel locks the door behind Drew and Carol when they leave and turns to me. I do not know where to look or what to say. The atmosphere between us is suddenly awkward and strained. How did we get here? I cannot help to wonder. How did we go from sharing a bed, talking, fighting and laughing to this? Can I get you anything? Axel asks politely. Maybe coffee? Okay, that's it, I throw my hands up in the air. This isn't working for me. What do you mean? He asks cautiously. This Axel, us, I point from me to him. We're literally standing in the hallway grasping at niceties to say to each other. Would you like to sit down or, no, damn it. I explode. I want normal. I want you to talk to me like you used to and stop looking at me like I will have a mental breakdown if you say the wrong thing. Like the one you're having now. He raises his eyebrows and crosses his arms in front of his chest. Like now, I laugh softly, and the tension eases between us. Please, just be yourself. I can't stand this tiptoeing around me 1 second longer. Okay, he nods. But for the record, I find this incredibly confusing. Why? I challenge him. This thing happened, and I don't know how to deal with it, he sighs. Should I pretend it didn't happen? Can I talk about it or not? I don't want to make things worse for you. It did happen, my voice is clear and unwavering. Ignoring it won't make it go away. The subject isn't off the table, but it's not something I would like to discuss constantly. Does that help? Yes, his mouth tugs at the corners into a smile. Anything else I can help you with? I place my hands on my hips. As a matter of fact, there is. His expression turns strict, and my gut warns me that I am not going to enjoy this. Why did you send me a message to cancel your studies? I need wine, I mumble as I turn around and walk to the kitchen. We have been talking about me and my feelings for the last 24 hours and frankly, I am over it. As much as I appreciate his concern and attention, I would like to take a break from it all. You can't have wine, he says indignantly as he follows me. Why not? I shoot back. It's common knowledge not to mix pain medication and alcohol, he scoffs. Good thing I'm not driving then, I grin as I take out 2 glasses and a bottle of Chardonnay. You're being irresponsible, Axel grunts as he reaches for the bottle, but I move it out of his reach. No, I'm not, I argue. I haven't had pills since brunch and I'm not planning to have any tonight either. Are you sure? He squints his eyes. Yes, I'm sure, I roll my eyes and open the bottle. I'm not on a path of self-destruction, Axel. If and when I have pain, I will take pills. And I don't need it right now. But you and I are about to have conversations that require wine. Fine, he gives in and takes a seat by the table. How are you so okay with this? Last night, after the shower, you were hysterical, I finish the sentence for him. And emotional and in pain. Now, it's 24 hours later and I'm coping better. I know it will take me hours and days of more drawings and tears to put this behind me completely. But I am not pretending, I do feel so much better after expressing myself on paper this afternoon. But how? He frowns. I had a therapy session, I pour the wine. So, I place a glass in front of him, and change the topic. I want to lay charges against Brad. You can't, Axel grunts as he finishes his wine in one go. And why not? Instantly, I am furious. I do not care that this is wolf territory. He will be held accountable for what he has done to me. He cannot get away with it. Because I killed him, Axel says softly and reaches for the bottle to refill his glass. You did what? I murmur as my knees go weak and I sit down. Are you insane? I explode as the full impact of his words manifests. That's murder. You'll go to jail for that. Not murder, he looks at me. Execution. He was trialed and sentenced. Case closed. And that's why I need wine, I grunt as I empty my glass. To absorb shocks. So, that's it? SWAT's not going to barge in here in the middle of the night and arrest you. I am SWAT, he wiggles his eyebrows and I give him an annoyed look. No, Lyanna, he sighs. Nobody's coming for me. Missy and her friends will be rewarded for their bravery and Brad will never lay a finger on anyone. My heart flutters for a moment but I squash it immediately. He did not do it for me. He did it because he is the future alpha and it is his duty to maintain law and order within the borders. Why did you start working there? Axel interrupts my thoughts. Why would you ask that? I laugh softly. For the money, what else? You knew I was looking for work. But you have money, he looks at me and for a second, I could swear he is angry. I didn't open a bank account for you for no reason. That's your money, I say adamantly as I stand up and rinse out my glass. Which I gave to you, he sneers, and I turn around to face him. Why are you angry at me? I look at him dumbstruck. I did nothing wrong. I'm not angry at you, he replies through clenched teeth. But you are angry, I state. I have seen his anger enough over the last couple of weeks to know I am right. No, he says slowly. I only wish you accepted the money and didn't go to work, because this thing wouldn't have happened to you. This thing. My voice is soft and icy as fury flares up. This thing is not a turd in a toilet, Axel. It was an attack and I'll be damned if it's going to stop me from living my life. It could have happened while I was walking down the street carrying bread and milk which I bought with your money. Bad stuff happens to people every day, Axel. There's no hiding from it. And to imply that I would have been safe if I didn't work is foolish. You don't need to lecture me, he says furiously as he jumps up and comes to stand in front of me. I know perfectly well how evil mankind can be. Well, if you know, then why are you blaming me for taking the job? I am so angry right now that it is hard for me not to scream at him like a mad woman. I'm not blaming you, he grunts. Yes, you are, I argue. I'm blaming myself. I'm supposed to protect you, he shouts, and I stare at him in disbelief. And you're making it impossible to do so. How am I supposed to keep you safe if you don't allow me to? You were never my guardian, Axel. I close my eyes for a moment. That was never part of the agreement. I'm here when you need me, not the other way around. I'm immensely grateful that you care so much about my well-being, but you don't have to. He steps back and looks at me as if I had physically hit him. For a second, I cannot understand why he is so upset, and then I remember Drew's words. Axel cares for me. And I just basically told him that I do not. Which is not true. Besides being contractual bed buddies, I regard him as a friend. I only wanted to exempt him from feeling responsible for me. You are the best man I know, I say softly as I walk towards him. And my life is so much better in every aspect since I met you. I haven't been this happy and content in a very long time. And it's all thanks to you. I do care for you, Axel, not your money. I'm not being difficult. It's not my intention to make your life harder while you make mine easier. But I cannot and will not accept that money. You're more than a convenient financial plan. He only looks at me with a stoic face to the point where I want to panic. Why is he not saying anything? You really need to work on your communication skills, I sigh theatrically. I cannot read minds. I will no longer give you a single cent, he says after a moment. And you will start working on Monday. Granted, if you are healed by then. Thank you, I smile brightly. I will text Missy and, you're not working there, he says brusquely. You're going to work at Silver Enterprises. Damn it, Axel, I grunt as I close my eyes in frustration. How is that any different than taking your money? You'll be working for it, he grins satisfied before he turns around and walks to the bedroom. That's not how it works, I argue as I follow him. Creating a job to accommodate me does not count. It's just another handout. No, it's not, he kicks off his shoes and pulls down his pants. Lyanna is pregnant, and I was going to employ a temp during her maternity leave. It might as well be you. Oh yeah, I cross my arms in front of my chest and look at him suspiciously. This is just too much of a coincidence. When did that happen? Last week, he replies as he climbs into bed. Now, turn off the light and come to bed. Lyanna POV. Well, I can't accept, I shrug nonchalantly. I have no experience and won't be able to do the work. Of course, I want the job. Not only would Silver Enterprises look great on my resume, I would also acquire new skills and much needed experience for the future. But the fact that he told me and not offered me the job irritates me. That's why you're starting on Monday, he says with his back towards me. So that she can teach you. And if I cannot learn everything in time? I ask. Then I'll fire you, he growls and turns around to face me. Goddess, Lyanna, must you be so stubborn about everything? Only when it's justified, I smile sarcastically. Please, in the name of everything holy, will you please turn off the light so that I can go to sleep, he moans. I'll argue with you for as long as you want about whatever you want tomorrow. I turn off the light and take off my pants before I climb into bed. I make myself comfortable and stare at the ceiling in the dark. I have so many questions about the job, but I do not want to bug him further. He is the one that must get up early in the morning for work, not me. I turn on my side to face him. I wish there were more light so that I can see his contours better. I have never seen him sleep before and would love to sketch it. Stop staring at me, he grunts as he reaches for me and pulls me closer. Why are you wearing a shirt? He moans. Because, I don't care, he interrupts me. Take it off. So, am I supposed to sleep naked every time you're here? I ask as I take off the shirt and toss it aside. Yes, he sighs contentedly as he pulls me against his chest. Do you always sleep naked? I whisper as I nestle closer to him. Even when you're alone? Yes, always, he chuckles. I didn't know that. I close my eyes and enjoy his closeness. Now that I am laying in his arms, I realize how much I missed him when he was gone for a week. And it is a startling thought. My nights are going to be terribly lonely and cold once this contract expires. Why didn't you tell me you were leaving last week? I cannot help but wonder. I know it is none of my business and I have no right to ask. I would much rather ask him where he has been and with who. It was a last-minute thing, he murmurs. And then I misplaced my phone, and I didn't have your number. Why? Did you miss me? No, I reply indignantly, and I am glad he cannot see the blush creeping from my neck to my ears. I was only curious. Admit it, I can hear in his voice he is enjoying the moment. You missed me. You're delusional, I scoff. Go to sleep. My turn, he laughs softly. Why did you cancel your studies? Because it was an impulsive and stupid idea, I sigh. I cannot avoid the topic forever. It's a hobby, not a career, and you shouldn't waste your money on that. I can spend my money any way I see fit, he says firmly. And the agreement is in writing and signed. You have no choice but to go. Oh, please, I chuckle. Leave the tycoon talk at the office. We might have a legitimate agreement, but what we agreed upon is illegal. Besides, I'm saving you money, you should be happy. I'll make you a deal, he lifts his upper body and looks down at me. I'll let it go on condition that you show me some of your work. If it's terrible, you don't do it. But if it's good, I'm going to nag you until you go. That's just silly, I laugh. Besides, isn't it beneath an alpha to nag? Oh, very much, he leans over and kisses me on my shoulder. That must tell you how much I want to see it. I'll think about it, I reply, but secretly pray that he will forget about this conversation. Nope, he crushes all my hope. Or the deal is off. Aren't you tired? I try again. You were so eager to sleep a minute ago. That was before you started with your 20 questions about my business. He takes my hand and presses it against his lips. Now it's my turn. Only one, I decide and get out of bed. One album, he says, and I roll my eyes in defeat. If that is what it takes to shut him up and let go of this, that is what I will do. I put on my robe before I turn on the light and walk to my closet. I pick out an old sketchpad and hand it to him before I go sit on the bed. I avoid looking at him as he pages through it. Showing off my work is not a habit of mine, and I am nervous. You love your father, he observes. It's all of him. He's a great man, I smile sadly as I look at the drawing on Axel's lap. All the good in me comes from him. There's nothing I would not do for him. Lyanna, Axel's voice is low and deep. These aren't doodles or a hobby. You must pursue this. Yeah, well, some things just aren't meant to be, I smile sadly as I take the sketchpad and put it away. Why are you giving up on this? Axel asks urgently as I turn off the light. I simply don't have the time, I sigh as I take off the robe and get back into bed. We had just put our argument about money to rest, explaining to him that my family counts on me financially, will only ignite the conversation again. Dreams constantly get crushed by reality. It's not the end of the world. Plenty of students work part-time and study, he says eagerly as he carefully pulls my back to his chest, without hurting me. You can too. I need a full-time salary, I say harshly. This conversation really must come to an end now. My family needs my support. Lyanna, Can we please drop it, I say on the verge of tears. It is what it is. Now you know the truth, end of discussion. One last question, Axel's voice is filled with authority. What? I sigh despondently. Have you received any money from Wyatt? Axel, even if he wanted to repay me, he couldn't. I laugh softly and lace my fingers through his before I pull our hands up to my chest. I blocked his number ages ago, and he has no idea where I live or work. Are you covering for him? Axel growls in my neck, and it sends a shiver up my spine. No, I reply. It's the truth. He has no way of contacting me. It both pleases and angers me. His lips trail from my neck to my shoulder. He should have made more of an effort, but I'm delighted he can't get to you. The butterflies in my stomach go haywire when I feel him grow hard against me. He removes his hand from my hold and starts caressing my stomach and hips. I want you, I whisper and push my body closer to him as my need for him intensifies. I don't want to take the chance and hurt you, he murmurs against my skin. Please, I moan and start moving my hips against his groin. I'll say stop if needed. You sure? His voice is hoarse as his hand slips in between my legs. Yes, I gasp in delight when he gently starts stroking me. His lips are warm and intense as he kisses and sucks on my neck while his fingers continue their magic. Why are you stopping? My breathing is rapid as he pulls away from me. I'm not. His voice is sultry as he sits up and rolls me onto my stomach. He settles behind me and pulls my hips upwards. I support my upper body with my hands, and he glides his hands over my hips and thighs. I close my eyes in delight when he enters me. I am not sure if it is because we were apart for a week or if it is the new position, but I feel him deep and everywhere. Anticipation builds as he rhythmically thrusts. My fingers curl into the linen and my breathing becomes louder the closer I get. I tumble forward as my arms give in when I reach my climax a second before him. Gently he picks me up and cradles me in his arms before he pulls the covers over us. I've been wanting to do that for more than a week, he kisses me on the forehead. And now I cannot even kiss you properly. Kissing you is nice, I stretch my neck and gently peck him on the lips without hurting my nose. I have a favor to ask, he says softly. I want you to sketch my wolf. Why? My stomach turns by the thought of seeing his wolf again. Because you're talented and I want a drawing of my wolf, he explains. Okay, I agree after a moment. My first choice would be to say no. His wolf is scary, but Axel has been nothing but kind and supportive. This is the least I can do even though the idea is scary. Lyanna POV I am alone in bed when I wake up, but I can hear noises coming from the kitchen. I am pretty sure that it is Carol and not Axel. If it is him, he is late for work. Lazily, I stretch before I get out of bed to go to the bathroom. Damn it, Axel, I grunt as I look at myself in the mirror when I want to brush my teeth. He left a hickey again. And on the exact same spot. Axel and I must have a conversation about this. Besides my halter neck dress, I have one more sleeveless turtleneck blouse to wear and that is it. I do not even own a scarf. After a rejuvenating shower, I put on my turtleneck blouse and jeans before I go to the kitchen. Morning, I greet as I walk into the kitchen. I was just about to bring your breakfast, Carol smiles as she fills a glass with orange juice. You should stop spoiling me like this, I grin as I take a seat at the table. I might get used to it and how am I supposed to continue my life when you're not here? With suffering, she laughs as she places the plate in front of me. You're heartless, I snort as I pick up my fork as she starts laughing. Oh, before I forget again, she walks to the counter. Here's your handbag and phone. Chloe gave it to me that night but with everything that has happened, I forgot to give it to you. Thanks, I nod and continue eating. By now, my phone's battery is flat and there is nothing else in my bag that is of importance at the moment. And Drew said to give you this, Carol holds out an envelope. What's that? I frown as I curiously take it from her. It's from Wyatt, Carol explains as she takes a seat opposite me. What? I gape at her as I tear open the envelope and take out $1,000. What? How? I mean, what? Breathe, Lyanna, Carol laughs. It's the first installment of what Wyatt owes you. I know that, I shake my head. But how did Wyatt know to give Drew the money? Wyatt doesn't know I live here. Oh, Drew collected it from him, Carol replies nonchalantly as she gathers my empty plate to rinse out. Axel gave the order. For a moment, I only look at the money. Heavens knows this could not have come at a better time. I have never been this broke in my entire life, and I need to buy clothes before I start my new job on Monday. I can hardly go with. That is all I own after Wyatt destroyed the rest. And if I had not packed my suitcase for the honeymoon, you look displeased, Carol says as she sits down again. No, I shake my head. I'm in shock. I never expected this. I mean, in my 26 years, I learned to fend for myself. It's weird having someone as powerful as Axel fighting my battles on my behalf. Welcome to pack life, Carol laughs softly. That's just one of many perks of being part of a pack. Do you want to go shopping with me? I ask as I put the money on the table. I need clothes. Oh, no, dear, Carol smiles sweetly. Ask one of your friends to join you. You don't want an old woman like me to tag along. I'm too old-fashioned. You're not old. I huff. And besides, I need clothes for work, and I like how you dress. Sophisticated and classy. I need you. Really? She blushes slightly. Please, I reach over and take her hand. I need your help. If you put it like that, she stands up. Get your things, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Thank you, I stand up and hug her quickly before she leaves. I put my phone on charge before I take the money to put into my wallet. I frown slightly as I open my handbag and look inside. More cash. Where does this come from? Quickly I count it and my knees go weak when the realization hits me like a ton of bricks. It is my last shift's money, and the $100 from Brad's game. I toss the $100 aside as if it will bite me. I do not even want to touch it. It makes me feel dirty and cheap. I am sleeping with Axel for thousands of dollars and not even then did I feel this violated. I will never, ever use that money. I will burn it, I conclude but instantly decide against it. No, that is not enough. I know myself. I will feel terrible wasting good money when it could have helped someone. Determined I walk to my phone and my eyes widen as I look at all the missed calls and messages. But I will deal with that later, I decide as I take out Michelle's card and phone her. Are you ready? Carol asks as she walks into my room. Just finished, I smile brightly as I take my phone and grab my handbag. Can we make a stop at the hospital? Are you okay? Carol is instantly concerned. More than, I laugh as we walk to her car, and I tell her about the money. I know it's only $100, but Michelle said it will help. Of course, it will, Carol agrees. The Haven always needs funds to house and feed women and children that escaped domestic violence. As a matter of fact, Axel hosts a charity event every year to raise funds for them. Please don't tell anybody I'm doing this, I plead with her as she parks in front of the hospital. Why not? She frowns. You're doing a good thing. Because I'm ashamed of I got this money, I admit without looking at her. Okay, she nods. But you do not need to feel ashamed. Just, don't, okay, I open the door and quickly walk to Michelle's office. It is after 5 by the time Carol and I stop at my cottage. Taking Carol with me was the best decision of the day. She gave me wonderful ideas and tips on how to improve my wardrobe without spending all my money. I also bought a concealer to camouflage my hickey, and any future hickeys that Axel might leave. I should start dinner, Carol says as we walk inside with arms full of shopping bags. If I serve sandwiches for dinner, Drew will not cuddle with me tonight, if you know what I mean. I wish I didn't, I laugh awkwardly and put the bags down. But since you saved me today, I will help so that you can get your cuddle. The atmosphere is light and relaxed as Carol and I prepare dinner. I just finished setting the table when Axel and Drew walk in. Ah, my favorite female, Drew takes Carol in his arms and kisses her passionately. Hello, Lyanna, Axel winks at me and I curse myself for blushing. I know he is only teasing me. Why do I have to react like a giddy teenager? Hi, I pull my shoulders back and recompose myself. Thank you for sending Drew to Wyatt's. Don't mention it, he gives me half a smile and I quickly look away. Damn it, he is too gorgeous for my well-being. Especially when he smiles at me like that. Have a seat, gentlemen, Carol orders. We haven't slaved in front of the stove for nothing. I have something for you, Axel says as he locks the door after Carol and Drew have left. It's on your bed, go look. Curiously, I walk to my room and find a box on my bed. Carefully I open it and stare at the contents. It is filled with every possible pencil size that I might need and sketch pads. But what takes my breath away, is the state-of-the-art graphic drawing tablet. Do you like it? He asks behind me. Are you insane? I pick up the tablet and stare at it in awe. It's amazing. I cannot stop looking at this marvelous gift. Excitement bubbles through me as I think of everything I am going to do with it. I am so happy I do not have to start work this week. Now I can spend every waking hour on this. I didn't know what you would like, so I got one of everything. Axel, this is too much, I turn to face him. As much as I love and appreciate it, I cannot help but feel a little guilty. Wyatt was my fiancé and not even he spoiled me this much. You shouldn't buy me things, but, why not? He frowns. Because I'm not your girlfriend or anything like that, I put the tablet back into the box. We don't have that kind of relationship, and fine, he looks furious as he takes the tablet. But you're keeping those because you still owe me a sketch and I only want the best quality. Will you stop interrupting me? Frustrated I take the tablet out of his hands and cherish it against my chest. I love it, thank you. But I am not your girlfriend, and I don't expect you to treat me as such. I do not expect romance and flowers and gifts. He points a finger accusingly at me. You confuse the shit out of me. Well, if you allow me to finish my sentences, you'd be less confused, I chuckle as I gently put the tablet away. I go stand in front of him and wrap my arms around his neck. Thank you, I smile before I kiss him softly. This is the best gift anybody has ever given me. You're welcome, his voice is sultry as he picks me up and carries me to bed. Lyanna POV. It is Saturday morning, the thought brings me no joy as I turn on my side and look at the empty pillow. I hate to admit it, but I miss Axel when he is not sleeping over. I do not know why, but I sleep so much more soundly and peacefully with him next to me. But something happened at work which required him to work longer hours and I have not seen him since Tuesday. Dinner time with Drew and Carol was still fun, but I felt lost the moment they left. I look at the time and jump out of bed. Nina has invited me over to meet Wilson and I am curious to meet the man that swept her off her feet. I am walking from the bus stop to the restaurant where I am to meet Nina and Wilson when my eye catches the most beautiful evening gown. I stop and take a moment to admire the dress in the window. I would love this dress, I sigh inwardly. But even if I had the money, buying it would be a waste. I have nowhere to wear it. Just as I was about to leave, I see Angela and instantly, I am irritated. What is she doing here? Has she come to visit again, or did she never leave? My blood ice over when I watch her walk to Axel and show him a bracelet. What? He smiles at her, and she laughs joyously as she hands over the bracelet to the salesperson. Axel picks up his phone and turns away to answer it, and that is when he sees me. It takes everything from me to smile friendly before I turn around and walk away. I take deep breaths to calm myself as I put as much distance as I can between me and the boutique. Is Angela the reason I have not seen him this week? Is she his late hours? Stop it. I reprimand myself. I have no right or claim on Axel. He is free to date whomever he wants. And once our agreement is over, he can sleep with whomever he wants. But it does not make me feel any better. Why do I even care? I am not in love with him. This should not bother me. I bet I would not have thought twice about it if it were anybody other than Angela. My phone rings and I look at Axel's name. My first instinct is to decline the call, but I decide against it. Just because I am being ridiculous, does not mean I should be petty and childish as well. Hi, I answer friendly. Where are you going? His voice sounds strained. Lunch, I reply. Why didn't you tell me you're going out? He asks irritated. Listen, Axel, I grind my teeth as I fight my brewing anger. I'm not an exotic bird that you can keep trapped in a golden cage. I don't have to report to you my every move. I'm only supposed to be available when you need me, and clearly you don't need me now. I'm sure as hell not going to sit on my hands at home like a good little girl until you get the urge to see me. It's not what I said, and you know it, he grunts. I would only appreciate it if you'd inform me when you're going out. I was on my way to see you and, oh, no, I cut him off. You do not get to turn this around. You had the entire week to inform me to expect you this afternoon, and then I wouldn't have made plans. You do not get to gollivant with other women and then have your fun with me. I'm nobody's substitute. Tread lightly, his voice is low and dangerous. You're making wild accusations which you cannot back up. Oh, please, I snort. I saw Angela. Go pay for the bracelet, but remember our agreement. Are you jealous? He sounds amused. Don't flatter yourself, I scoff indignantly. I simply do not wish to be associated with her in any way, including sharing a partner. This conversation is not over, he hisses. Not by a long shot. I agree wholeheartedly, I sneer as I disconnect the call. Great, now I am angry, I scoff as I continue walking. He has spoiled my good mood. It is just Angela. She treats people like crap. Why can he not see through her? Why does he tolerate her if he is not interested? I pull myself together as I walk into the restaurant and go to the table where Nina is already waiting. She greets me friendly before introducing me to Wilson. I can tell why she is so taken with him. He is handsome and charming. The only thing I find odd is the way he keeps on checking his phone. With every notification, he stiffens for a moment and relaxes after he looks at it. Excuse me, ladies, Wilson smiles as he stands up. I need to visit the gents. Isn't he perfect? Nina whispers as he walks away. Check out his ass. I'd rather not, I roll my eyes. You drool enough for the both of us. I'm telling you, he's the one, she says dreamily. Did he tell you you're his mate? I ask surprised. Not in so many words, she pouts. But I simply know it. I bite my objections back and smile at her. She is so happy, who am I to burst her bubble? Wilson is clearly into her, it does not matter if she is his mate or not. I am just paranoid after my conversation with Axel. He gave me this earlier. Nina reaches over to show me her watch and accidentally pushes my glass over, spilling wine over me and the table. I'm so sorry, she grabs the glass. It's fine, I smile as I pick up a napkin and wipe it off my jeans, but the damage is done. I'm going to clean up, I stand up. I'm coming with you, she says eagerly. No, I stop her. Wilson might think you ditched him if he gets back and we're both gone. I'm sorry, she pulls her face as I quickly walk to the ladies' room. I apply water and dry the spot with the hand dryer the best I can. Well, this is the best I can do, for now, I sigh inwardly. It is not perfect, but it is not that bad anymore. I walk out of the bathroom and notice Wilson on his phone. "Babe, it's a business meeting," he whispers, and I nearly choke. "Babe?" I dash back into the bathroom but keep the door open to eavesdrop. He is so wrapped up in his conversation that he does not notice me. "I'll be home in a couple of hours and then I'll make it up to you, okay?" His voice is soft and calming. Son of a bitch. I see red as I step out of the bathroom. He pales when he sees me standing with my arms crossed in front of my chest, glaring angrily at him. "I have to go," he swallows hard. "See you later." "It's not what you think," he says as he disconnects the call. Why do people always say that when they get caught red-handed? I grunt frustrated. It is exactly what I think. "You're cheating on Nina." "No," he looks me straight in the eye. "I'm cheating on my girlfriend with Nina." "That does not make things better, you bastard," I hiss at him and take a step closer. "In fact, it's worse. You're toying with two women's hearts." "Listen, I know how it looks," he tries to reason with me. "But I'm breaking up with my girlfriend, I swear. I want Nina." "Oh, bullshit," I snort. "You're just backpedaling because you know I'm going to tell Nina." "Please don't," he looks a little panicked. "I was already with my girlfriend when I met Nina. The second I realized I'm in love with Nina, I wanted to break up with my girlfriend, but it is her birthday next week. I already feel bad for dumping her, I don't want to ruin her birthday as well. I'm serious, I want to be with Nina, and I'm going to dump my girlfriend after her birthday. But if you tell Nina about this, she will never forgive me. Do you really want to be responsible for breaking her heart?" "I'm not the one breaking her heart, you are," I poke him against his chest. "Emotional blackmail doesn't work on me, buddy. Nina's the one for me," he says urgently. "And you're about to ruin something pure and beautiful because you want to play vigilante." "Oh, really?" I raise my eyebrows and turn around. "Okay, wait," he rushes towards me and blocks my way. "I'm sorry," I panicked. "All I'm asking for is a week, please. Stacy's birthday is on the 15th. I'll give you her number and then you can phone her and ask her yourself if I broke up with her." "Give me her number," I take out my phone, calling his bluff, and I am surprised when he actually does give it to me. "Okay," I sigh and put my phone away. "1 week, then I'm telling." "Thank you," he takes my hand, but I jerk away. "We are not friends," I warn him. "I do not like you. I think you're a pig. I'm doing this for Nina. But hear my words, Wilson, if you break her heart, I will break your kneecaps." "Sure," he laughs condescendingly. "You're a human. Try me." I take a threatening step closer, and his eyes widen. "You have no idea what I'm capable of." Okay, he holds up his hands. "It doesn't matter anyway, because I'm not going to break her heart." "You're a piece of shit," I push past him and march back to the table. I am fuming. All I want to do is tell Nina. She deserves to know. Even if he claims that he will leave Stacy. But I know Nina, the second she learns the truth, she will never trust Wilson again. And with good reason, I am telling her, I decide as I take my seat. "Sorry for taking so long," Wilson says as he touches Nina's shoulder and her face lights up when she looks at him. "Damn it," I sigh inwardly. I do not want to ruin this for her. She is so happy and in love. What if Wilson is telling the truth? I am going to be responsible for her heartache and pain if I tell her now. "Thanks for lunch," I gather my things and get up. "But I got to run." "So soon?" Nina pouts. "I'm sorry," I lean over and hug her. "I'll make it up to you. Promise." I wave them goodbye and get out of there as fast as I can. I want to know who Stacy is. Axel POV. Irritation and frustration boil in me as I look at the dead phone in my hand. She put the phone down in my ear, the little witch. I hope your mother likes the gift, Angela says next to me, and her voice makes me cringe inside. I know I would. Come on, I say politely and guide her out of the store. The very last thing I am in the mood for right now is this woman and my mother. Mother adores Angela and the two of them are insufferable together. Not even a deaf person can ignore the blatant hints that I should marry Angela. And yes, on paper she is the perfect mate. She is an alpha's daughter, and their pack is strong. Our parents have been friends for years and I know nothing will bring them greater joy than me tying the knot with Angela. But I cannot stand the woman. She is clingy and annoying. Not to mention incredibly entitled and rude. I do not care how much it financially makes sense to marry her, my life will be one living hell if I do. Especially now that I have found my mate and know how it feels to hold her in my arms. How do I go from complete bliss to utter misery for the sake of the pack? But I am also sensible enough to know that it would be a nuclear explosion if I claim Lyanna as my mate now. As long as Wyatt is still in her system, she will reject me, but that is the least of my concerns. Her brother is a problem. After investigating him I learned about his gambling and financial problems. There is no way I can allow him to be associated with the Alpha House. He will tarnish our pack's name and that could lead to dire consequences. Other packs will withdraw business from us. And how do I accept Lyanna without her brother? Angela babbles non-stop next to me as Drew drives us back home, but I do not listen. I keep on thinking about Lyanna and trying to figure out a way for us to be together. I grind my teeth when Angela clings to my arm as we walk inside. I want to shake her off like a pesky fly, but I have no choice but to endure this as we enter the entertainment area. Ah! Axel, Angela's father greets us jovially. Come and join me and your father for a scotch. Let the women talk about whatever. He laughs heartedly at his own joke, and I plaster a smile on my face as I walk to them. At least I am rid of Angela. Son, Dad hands me a drink. Jack and I have been talking and we came to a fine agreement. Which is? I accept the drink and take a sip. Something tells me they have been at this for a couple of hours and that their ideas might not be as well thought out as they think. You and Angela will get married. Jack raises his glass and I nearly choke on my drink. Not you two, I groan. First the women and now them? Do they have nothing else that they can talk about? It's the perfect solution, son. Dad puts his arm around my shoulder, and I nearly spill my drink. With our companies combined, we can go international. Our designs and their technology. Nobody will be able to beat our prices. With all due respect, no, Jack cuts me off. You don't have to worry. You have my blessings. Angela will cooperate. You don't understand, I try again. I'm not, we thought it all through, Dad chimes in. You marry Angela the day before your inauguration as Alpha. Then we do both the Luna and Alpha ceremonies simultaneously the next day. I'm not marrying Angela, I bellow and instantly everything quiets down. Even the women sitting on the opposite side of the room stop talking and look our way. Angela is not my mate, I continue with a moderate tone of voice. She and I both deserve the happiness a mate brings. Therefore, I respectfully decline this idea you two concocted. Axel, Mother gets up and walks over to us. Just consider it, please. You're 29 and haven't found your mate. Chances are you never will. It would be wise to marry Angela while you have the opportunity. Angela and I aren't cattle that you can trade, Mother, I ball my fists to keep myself from exploding. She's sitting right there and can hear how you talk about her as if she's a consolation prize. Well, I don't see a problem with it, Angela says, and I wish I could wring her neck right now. I will be a loyal and faithful Luna. Even if we aren't mates. For me, it's an enormous problem, I grunt. Everything isn't about you, Father yells angrily. It's what's best for the pack. You will marry Angela. I will not marry her, I challenge my father. And that's final. Then you'll never be Alpha, Dad is red in the face as he points a finger at me. Fine, I shrug. Find someone else to take over. Axel, Grant, enough, Mother intervenes. Grant, if you disown Axel, you will be challenged by every rogue and wolf from here to Africa to take over this pack. It will destroy everything and everyone within these borders. Is that what you want? And Axel, you know perfectly well what it means to be alpha. Making sacrifices for the greater good. You need a strong Luna, and Angela is perfect for the position. At the very least, you must consider her. Fine, I place my glass down. If I haven't found my mate by the time of my inauguration, I will ask Angela to marry me. Thank you, son, Mom smiles grateful at me. Grant. Agreed, Dad mumbles and pours himself another drink. Angela gives an excited shriek before she huddles with her mother. Dear goddess, she is already a blushing bride. Excuse me, I grunt. I need fresh air. My heart is beating dangerously fast, and I must fight my wolf for control. Blinding, I walk in a direction. I need to be anywhere but here. I am furious at my parents for cornering me in front of Angela and her parents. That is a type of conversation that needs to happen privately. And do not let me get started on Angela. How thick-skinned can a person be? I denied her openly and aggressively, and still she is planning a wedding that will not happen. I simply cannot marry Angela. She will drive me insane, and I might kill her. I stop abruptly when I realize, I am standing in front of Lyanna's cottage. I know she is not home, but I go inside anyway. I need quiet to gather my thoughts and calm down. Lyanna POV. I will be a terrible detective, I sigh as I walk from the bus stop to my cottage. I have searched for Wilson on social media since I climbed the bus, but I have had no luck. But I am not going to give up. I will subtly ask Nina where he works and then I will take it from there. I know how it feels to be cheated on, and I will never be able to live with myself if I did not at least warn Nina. I walk inside my cottage and nearly scream when I see Axel sitting on the couch. I bet he is here to fight with me about earlier. What, Axel? I press my hand on my galloping heart. You gave me a fright. Sorry, he gives me half a smile. I just needed to be alone for a moment. I look at him for a moment, trying to figure out what is happening. I was so certain that he came here to fight. And I am more than ready to rip him a new one about Angela, but something tells me that there is something else going on here. Are you okay? I frown as I put my handbag down and walk to him when I notice how tired he looks. Yeah, he sighs and takes a deep breath. I had a disturbing meeting. That's a first, I say as I sit down next to him. Nobody has ever referred to a meeting as disturbed. He pinches his nose bridge between his fingers and closes his eyes. For reasons unbeknown to me, I get this overwhelming urge to comfort him. All my arguments about Angela are forgotten. Without thinking about it, I climb onto his lap and cradle his head to my chest. His arms instantly go around my waist like clamps, and he holds me as if his life depends on it. Whatever it is really eating at him, I realize as I stroke his hair. I have seen him angry, serious, and humorous. But I have never seen him so lost. I have no idea how long we have been sitting like this, but his grip has not eased for a second. When he finally lets go of me, his eyes are overflown with emotions that I cannot decipher. Are you sure you're okay? I whisper as I gently stroke his cheek. I am now, he smiles as his fingers curl into my hair and pull my lips down to his. There is an urgency in his touch as his hands roam my body that I have not experienced before. I have an idea, he murmurs against my lips before he lifts me off his lap and stands up. Get your sketch pad and pencils. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Where are we going? I call after him, but he only gives me a wicked smile before he closes the door behind him. The rest of the audiobook will be continued in the next episode. Join us on Patreon for early access or more great audiobooks. A link is provided in the video description.